Your own understanding, truth under Babylon's empiricism. What up? My apologies for the light, but I like the dusk, so fuck it. Anyway, this is very important also. I just got finished talking about missing children in our neighborhoods and other people coming to our neighborhoods to set up shop to actually do these type of things in our neighborhood. Anyway, this particular video, I'm gonna talk about robots, what they call artificial intelligence, and the importance of understanding energy and how frequencies work and how these things are very, very important to kind of understand when it comes to memory, when it comes to cognition, when it comes to just mathematics and calculations and formulas. Like all these things are very important when it comes to robotics, automation, and then the human condition. Now, when you speak of automation, when you speak of computers and just computing in general, it's all based on math and memory. Memory is part of a source of light that basically is broken down into code, which can be translated through, you know, electromagnetism and all this other stuff. So what you have to understand is energy is a force. Any force is basically bent on self-perpetuation and also progression. It needs to move, wants to be free, wants to flow. That's any kind of force. So when it comes to computers, when it comes to memory, when it comes to the human brain, when it comes to memory and how it is transferred, how it receives signals, and how those signals are transferred from place to place, the the entire structure of memory is based on light. This light basically can hold information through code. Now, these codes come from energy. Once you put this energy in motion, you give this energy a purpose. Now, everything wants a purpose. Everything wants to be a part of something. So when you connect a unit, you take a positive and negative circuit, and you create a unit. You create a system out of these circuits. This energy wants to flow. So when you give it avenues, filament per se, when you give it avenues to flow, it can express itself, it can flow. Now, when you give guidelines and protocols, basically commands and code, when you restrict these flows of energy with commands and codes, you create what is called, what I call, you create what is called anomalies in progression, meaning you think you have the formula to be able to predict what an on and an off in a particular pattern would translate. You think you would understand what it would translate because we think in a linear sense. As far as humans are concerned, we think in a linear sense. We think just because we have something and nothing, we can do calculations and predict where it's going to go. There are variables when it comes to those calculations because no matter how significant and elegant mathematics may be, there is always energy. There's always that factor of freedom that everything wants. I call it the remainder. It's something left over from a calculation or a formula of calculations that hasn't been taken into account, only because of the mundane resonance of the remainder. It's almost unseen, or you could say it's unseen to the human eye or the human perception. So we can never predict what these things can do on the multi-million parts per scale. We'll never predict these things. In a sense where we can say, okay, well, this is going to happen as a result. This small anomaly can happen as a result, blah, blah, blah. Only if we have studies to study the studies of our study, which is redundant, but this is a factor of life. This is the factor of energy and just how things are meant to be. You aren't supposed to restrict anything, especially energy. Now, when we use our voices to manipulate the air to create sounds, we use influence to project a certain perception when it comes to those sounds for the receiver. We vibrate, we resonate, and we hope someone can actually participate. So we set up the formula so people can participate in what we project. And that's the same thing that we do when it comes to computers. These are, based on the things that we want, we desire, how we operate. So when you create these robots with all these different units, all these different circuits, all these different protocols and applications and processors with all these different flows of energy, you have to understand there will be anomalies. There will be a ghost in the machine. There will be unwanted reaction. It's going to happen. No matter how much control you think you have over these things, you have to build other applications to control the small things that you cannot control, or you think you wouldn't be able to, or you didn't predict, or you didn't perceive of. So when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to trying to control energy, it's a daunting task because you have to create applications and protocols to capture or minimize the resulting anomalies or remainders that happens as a result of the formulations. And that's just it. And hopefully we can actually get to the point where we have a collective understanding of automation or artificial intelligence, quote unquote, because it's all just basically trying to get to augmented reality, and that's just a whole nother level of fourth dimensional fuckery, basically. So I'm going to end this here. Be aware that robotics and just artificial intelligence always will have an anomaly. It always will have a positive anomaly and a negative anomaly. Always. These are things that just are going to happen when two people get together. Whether they want to or not, they are formulating. Whether they understand every aspect of that formula, they just don't. They might not. But what could happen is an ending result, which could be a baby, which could be a venereal disease, which could be confusion within both of their lives. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be a result when it comes to a system of circuits and things coming together to create a process. That's all.